Hello and welcome back to the Getting Started with Skwish videos.
Today I'm going to show you how to get started adding quotes to a task. If you haven't seen how to add a project and a task yet, head over to our project video. I'll just take you into a pre-made task here. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, how important it is to make sure this task detail section is really packed full of as much detail as you can possibly get. This is essentially your scope of work and it gives you backup on everything you are quoting for here. This is all should be detailed in this section. It protects you as a freelancer, so if your client comes back to you and says, I wish this was added, I thought it was going to be, it was in the brief, you can see that it wasn't necessarily in there, or if you have missed it, that you might have needed to have put it in there. So please make sure that that's always got as much detail for the project as possible in there. Now, if you quote by piece of work, you can fill in this section here. I've just filled this in already. Say you're writing a blog and your fixed fee is £30 for each blog. You can just fill that in as a standard number and it will come in here. Now, if you haven't seen our client video, adding a client video, you will not know that this is where your rate card is set within the actual client, but if you haven't set it or you've got to change to it, you can still do that within here. It will just take you over to the client page. So really brief overview of this. Estimates are for your team, so I've only got myself in here. If you've got a team of people working for you, you can, or collaborating with you, they can put all their estimates in here and the client will never see these and they will never see the billable hours. The people working with you will not see billable hours, they will only see what they estimate. So if you are subcontracting blogs to someone, for example, and they quote you 6 hours to write a blog and you spend an hour proofreading it and making sure it's ready for client, as you can see that jumps up. So these are calculated by when your rate card is set and only billable hours plus any additional costs. So if I had to buy hosting space, for example, it will go as an additional cost. So when you click submit to client, it will send the client a notification. They'll get a little notification up here on their bell, and if they don't take any notice of it, they will also get an email. If I hit save on that, as you will see, that has now been created ready for the client to approve, and as we haven't got a client within the system at the moment on an email account or anything like that, I've got the authority to approve it. So if I hit approve, you will see all of those details of me working on this task. They all come up and they're all registered so that you know when someone has looked at a task or when your team members have been working on a task, or if anything's changed, you've got a log of that. It ensures that you're protected, and if you feel like a client has looked at it but not dealt with it, you can always chase them up to get them to respond to it. Now, the next important thing now it's been assigned is, now it's been accepted, is to assign it to a member of your team. So you just take the drop down box, it will have all your team members that are working on this project in there, and you can choose a date of which the project is going to be created on. And so I've scheduled it for today, but that will now end up in your schedule. You can also change the priority level at any point of the task being in. Now, this is the time that I've quoted. I can add time slips to the work, so if I've been working on time I can manually put it in, or I can set a timer when I start the piece of work. It just ensures that you're always quoting the correct amount of time, or if you've worked overtime you've got a record of it and you can say, well, actually this task took us a little bit longer. The last piece of information on here is the private button. If you want to have a chat with just your team and you don't want to involve the client can actually see all of this. If you want it to become private, just slide this on and make a comment, and the client won't be able to see that comment. All your team will, but the client won't. Just make sure it's always on. We don't want any incidents. I hope that helps with all the information on the task. I'm really sorry it's such a long video. There is a lot of information on each task. if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to click on the question mark and it'll bring up a live chat as always with us, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible if we're not online at the time. Good luck with adding tasks and enjoy using Skwish.